Hello, everybody. We're back to recommend more titles and suggestions for books that can be checked out from home via our digital collection. Mary, why don't you start us off?
Hello. The book that I'd like to recommend today is Nothing to See Here. It's written by Kevin Wilson. This is a book that got a lot of positive reviews from it before it came out, and I kept considering reading it, but I just couldn't get past the premise of the book because it's about these twins who spontaneously combust when they get emotional. And then Jenner Bush Hager selected this book as one of her choices, and I actually heard the two of them speaking, she and Hoda Kotb, talking about it, so I decided I'd go ahead and give it a try. And I'm actually very glad I did. It begins with these two girls who are very unlikely roommates in an elite boarding school. Madison's a wealthy girl and Lillian's very poor, but she's there on a scholarship. Well, they become good friends, but then this friendship is damaged after a scandal and Lillian ends up leaving school. Then Lillian, many years later, is actually surprised to receive a letter one day from Madison asking to see her. Turns out that Madison would like Lillian to take care of these twins that are her husband's children because he's getting ready to run for political office and they want to keep the information that these children spontaneously combust out of the public eye. Anyway, strange premise, but anyway, it's a witty book. It's very big-hearted, and what I loved about the book was the way that the friendship developed between Lillian and these twins. They managed to kind of save each other. So anyway, feel free to pick it up. It's available as an audiobook or an ebook on Libby, and once we can put books on hold and you can pick them up, you can get the print copy from curbside. Caroline, do you want to go next?
Sure. My book today is called The Life in Medieval Times of Kit Sweetly by Jamie Pacton. It's available as an audiobook from Hoopla and on Libby. This book is suitable for high schoolers and older, and it revolves around Kit Sweetly and her quest to move from serving wench to knight at her castle-themed workplace. The story shows diverse representation like gender and socioeconomic status in today's world and parallels it with similar social issues during the medieval times. Not only do the two parallels mirror each other, these issues feed Kit's need to stand up for equality and deliver a story that is much more than a YA romance. Barb, do you want to go?
Yeah. Okay, so my latest and greatest for you is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. So since none of us can travel right now, I thought we could travel together to upstate New York, to a small town called Bell, to the Sundown Motel. Let's travel back to 1982. Viv decided to leave the Midwest and decided she's going to make it to New York City. Well, she made a wrong turn and ended up in Fell, a small town in upstate New York, and gets a job working the night shift at the Sundown Motel. Soon after she arrives, creepy sounds, creepy smells, weird things start happening. She says, I'm going to figure out what's going on. And poof, she disappears without a trace. 35 years later, her niece Carly decides, I am going to find out once and for all what happened to my aunt. So she drives to Fell, New York, and gets a job at the Sundown Motel. She figures, the best way I'm going to figure out what happened to her is I'm going to get a job doing what she did and figure out what was going on. And all of a sudden, the creepy stuff starts happening. I'm not going to tell you what happens to Carly, but she's afraid for her life. It's fast-paced, it's suspenseful, and it is great. So if you want to find out what happens to Carly, if you want to know what happened to Viv, you have to check it out as an ebook or an audiobook on our library catalog. And that's
Thanks,
it.
Barb. Thank you. My book is The Cold, Cold Ground by Adrian McKinty. Here's a look at the cover. It's the first book in a series of police procedurals featuring Detective Sean Duffy. They are set in Northern Ireland in the 1980s during the Troubles. And the plot in this book revolves around Duffy investigating a homophobic serial killer and the case of a missing girl who, when her body is found, it's ruled a suicide despite unexplained marks on her neck and apparently no motive. The author does a great job of capturing the mood of the time period. There's very witty dialogue and cultural references. It has everything you want in a great police procedural. A great lead character. It's got a plot, great plot that keeps you guessing till the end. Great writing, humor, dark humor, very enjoyable. And if you like it, there's 5 more that you could read. It's available as an ebook on Hoopla and also as an ebook and an audiobook on Libby from OverDrive. So thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some more titles that you can download from home. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.